We are live.
Oh, we are live.
Hello, everybody.
There's like no countdown, like a Varel countdown.
Veryl's very good. I'm very bad.
I think you're doing pretty well.
Thanks, buddy.
Nice.
Welcome, everyone. We wanted to just give you an update on everything we've been working on behind the scenes, as we this week received a bunch of exciting updates. Brad, if you want to talk for a moment, I'm going to make sure everything's actually looking good on the
Yeah.
YouTube front.
So
Because I
I
can't
mean,
multitask.
obviously, we apologize for every delay that we've encountered. However, the good news is that all these delays, they're all wrapping up, and we have good news across the board for the first time. Really good news, I think. So we're very excited to share that with you. Hopefully, you're happy with the dates that we are giving, because we actually have hard dates, ship dates, that sort of thing. But yeah, so to start, Hide and Go Shriek and Student Bodies will be arriving to us the week after July 4th. So we'll be able to ship those out that week. So of course, Clubbers will go first, and then everybody else. So those will be packaged together. And yeah, there's nothing to note on that aside from, we noticed when we had the patchwork Blu-rays, they really weren't our standards. So we went ahead and just redid them with another company that hit our format that we do for our Blu-rays across the board. If you watch the patchwork Blu-ray, you can see kind of how it's very not great. However, it still works. It's still encoded in a perfect way. It's still a great disc. It's just that those menus are a little tricky. So we went ahead and we redid Student Bodies and Hide and Go Shriek. And then also the cool news, since we redid the Student Bodies disc, and had to reauthor it, we had a chance to add something to it that we didn't have prior. So when we announced it, we got a few, and I've heard this before, we got a few messages saying, hey, is the TV version included TV version? And I could not find any record of this existing or any footage in any archive that I went through. And people told me it existed, but no one was showing me anything. We had a fan reach out via email and say, "Hey, here is the footage. It's on YouTube. This is the only source that it's been seen. I guess it was on Up All Night, so people that were recording that at the time would have a copy of that. It's not a big. There's not any big differences. It's literally just, I think, 30 seconds of a conversation that happens at the beginning of the movie. The quality is incredibly bad because it's sourced from a tape uploaded to YouTube years ago. So we've just cut that and we put that in on the disc so you can see this lost TV version deleted scene, which I was kind of happy to include because I told that person, hey, this disc is already done. We can't go back. But when we got those test discs and the Blu-ray menu looked like that, I was like, I really don't want to do this again like we did with Patchwork. So we redid those, and those are intact. And yeah, I'm very, very excited about it, to see the documentary on both, new commentaries on both. I think the packaging is stellar. I'm very excited about everyone getting those.
July 6th, Hide and Go Shriek, Student Bodies will ship from our Savannah, Georgia warehouse to the Video Clubbers first, and then all other pre-order customers to follow. So yay, and we actually have news.
Yeah. And then about 2 weeks after that, so what, the 20th of July?
That's what
Yeah.
what we were told. Yes.
Yeah, so we should be receiving Happy Hell Night at that time, and then Happy Hell Night will go out. We're excited about that as well. We redid the menu on that one, and then for the big news, Gator Bait, which obviously has been way too long. It's been a very exciting thing to work on, but also it's just been embarrassing as well as long as it's taken to get this out. So again, just to reiterate, we've said this a million times: the hang up is Gator Bait 2, because we are giving the customers a version that they've never ever seen before, and it is a few minutes longer. There's footage from an Italian cut that existed that was only available in the Italian language on VHS, and then we have, I think, a couple shots that are nowhere to be found in any version of the movie. And in doing this, this is a kind of a Frankenstein project. We are sourcing DVD, we are sourcing VHS, we are sourcing Beta SP, we're sourcing a negative, we're sourcing a print. It is, and then also the audio stems. There's audio from everything, from DVD to VHS. We're subtitling the Italian because, like, sadly the audio was missing on Gator Bait, so all of the audio on Gator Bait 2, all the audio sourced from Gator Bait 2 is from other home video sources. Like, there was no mag track for any of this, any optic, like nothing. So it's sourced from Italian VHS for those Italian scenes, which we're subtitling. Also, we are creating sound for scenes that didn't have sound, and it doesn't exist anywhere because the footage has never been seen, so it's not on any home video format. So we are creating noises, sound, Foley. We're actually doing Foley and taking audio from the other movies and mixing it in to kind of create. There's no dialogue, thankfully, so we're able to kind of create, sloshing around in the swamp and that sort of thing. So it is kind of just this big Frankenstein project, and the thing was that we were really trying to do UHD for it across the board. Gator Bait 2, the director's cut, what we're calling, which is what the Sebastian's released on DVD, that will be UHD. However, the Blu-ray that comes with this set, that will be we're just calling the TerraVision International cut because it's a mishmash of both. It's our version that we've created from footage that's never been seen before to the Italian VHS existing and whatnot. So very exciting stuff. It was just, it was almost impossible to get an HDR grade, a Dolby Vision grade on this. When you mix that many elements together, and you're doing UHD, it's not the same as a Blu-ray or DVD. Blu-ray or DVD, you can drop anything in a timeline, even on your computer. Just if you have any editing software, you can put something together and ship it off and it'll be put on a Blu-ray, no problem. But when you're dealing with UHD, there's all this metadata that goes through, and everything has to be 100% perfect or it doesn't work, especially with Dolby Vision, because at this point, Dolby Vision is cool, but it's so finicky. It's not working for a lot of companies. A lot of companies have issues with it. We have issues with it from time to time. And it just was not working with all of these different types of media together. Like I said, when you have that many, if it was just film, it would be fine. But when it's this many types of media, VHS, Beta SP, it just gets too complicated and too stupid. I hate it. So the international cut will be Blu-ray only, and then the UHD will have have the what we are calling the director's cut, which is different from the VHS, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. The director's cut that the Sebastians put for 1 and 2, that's what's on our UHDs, which are longer than the VHS, because I think the VHS for Gator Bait 2 was heavily cut by Paramount at the time of release. And that should be shipping August 10th.
10th, yes.
Yeah. So basically every 2 weeks we'll be having titles out, hopefully. Titles out every 2 weeks as they're coming to us. And that has to go through our own personal inspection as well when we get those discs. But that is what we're given some dates, which we're happy about, because for the past, year, we've been told it's coming. And that's what we've relayed. And that, honestly, that's just not good enough. And we realized that, but we didn't really have another answer. So that's kind of the big update. I'm very excited because Gator Bait 2 and Gator Bait look incredible. I mean, everything looks really, really good. And especially Happy Hell Night. It's such a night and day difference from the previous releases. And the same thing with Hide and Go Shriek. Just very, very different. The source material is rough, so that's not anything that's bad. That's just the truth behind it, is that even Student Bodies, the negative was in very, very poor condition. These films just are not taken care of. It's weird for Student Bodies because it was a studio title, so I don't know what happened there. But, it was probably the best of the bunch, and probably looks the best. So, yeah, we're very excited about these titles coming in those dates. Ryan, did you want to add anything?
Well, just some comments coming in. So is Gator Bait sold out indefinitely? No, I don't know, I guess is the simple answer for that. I'm sure some copies will be available. I didn't feel comfortable taking anyone else's money whilst we're, constantly punting this down the road. Once we receive them and ship them, I'm sure there will be some extra, be it 50, 100. I truthfully, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm positive there will be some, as long as you're on the TerrorVision mailing list. I'll make sure you get one. I just personally am not comfortable taking money on something where I'm like, I think we'll have it out soon, because that's what, like Brad just said, we're being relayed that consistently from our partners. Anyways, neither here nor there. We just appreciate that you guys have been very supportive of the long process. But again, the end result is going to be great. So that's cool. And yeah, so July 6th, Hide and Go Shriek, Student Bodies. 2 weeks later, Happy Hell Night. And about 2 weeks later, Gator Bait. And then the shadow of 2025 will be over. So
yeah,
with that in mind, I guess I'll just anecdotally say a couple things in case you guys aren't on social media. The My Bloody Valentine LP boxes. So we've been having some rigid box issues using some new suppliers, just too tight, blah, blah, blah. I used someone new because of that with the My Bloody Valentine LP box. We got those samples in, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks ago, or I posted about it on social media, say 2 weeks ago. They're great, fortunately, and gave them the thumbs up to wrap them up. So those actually will be shipping to us, they said, by the end of this month. So we'll have those pre-orders out the door in 2-ish weeks. I posted a whole video of it. It was pretty cool, the box set. I think it turned out really neat. So thanks for your patience on that. All the other miscellaneous pre-orders, the Sinister cassette and the Mouth of Madness CD, all the we'll just call it miscellaneous pre-orders are are actively shipping now. Like we have everything and are shipping them. So you might even have some of those things now. The only thing that I'm consistently seeing emails about are things that you use the combine code on, but don't have anything in our shipping platform. There is no way for Brandon and Elena to know if, how do I phrase this succinctly? If you use a combine code and have no pre-existing order where you've paid for shipping, there is nothing telling them to check on that. There's no like alert, check on these. Your emails are that alert, but the problem is if you're using the combine code and you haven't paid for shipping, you're going to have to pay for shipping, even if it's something that you ordered 6 months ago, if that makes sense. So that's why the combine code is literally to combine. You have something like, I don't know, gator bait that you ordered forever ago, and you don't care about the timelines. You just want to add it. You don't want to pay for shipping multiple times. That's the whole reason it exists. So I've seen quite a bit of emails the past 2 weeks that are like, where is so-and-so? And then I look into it and there's a combine code on whichever title it is with you having never paid shipping. So that's a thing. Same with the wholesale club portal. Like that is that is reserved for when we ship out a title for you. So like, in other words, if you placed an order in between two club mail outs, we're not just going to ship that order. We'll include that with your next order, if that makes sense. So I think that's sort of the bulk of customer service I've been seeing, or, emails I've been seeing lately. So we have a really appropriately timed.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
So Brad and I made a decision about, 5 minutes ago that until GatorBait ships, until all these 4 titles ship, we're not going to announce any mainline TerraVision titles. And it should be noted, not only do we have like a zillion titles licensed, we have stuff in-house waiting to ship, right? Because that is what this whole pre-order thing has taught Brad and I, is that we, some degree of pre-order is fine, 2-3 weeks, whatever. But certainly not how it's been going. So until something's in hand, we're probably not going to announce it. Now with Grayface Films, I think we're okay to announce a new title.
Just also a lot of people just want new stuff, and like we get it, and we obviously want to, but the whole thing was that the pre-order thing just wasn't working out the way that we anticipated it to do. Like that's just the realistic part to it, is that with all of these different things going on and being a small business, it's hard to get confirmed dates and getting things on time. And that was kind of what we were seeing. And it was just like, okay, well, obviously this is a complete nightmare, because, we've been doing this for some time, and we just are not going to do it anymore until we actually have a tracking number or it in hand. We have a Grayface title that we received probably a couple months ago.
It's been a while.
And it's just been kind of like, at this point, things are just kind of like, our warehouse is only so big. So we can't just keep having titles in boxes and never announcing them. It's becoming kind of a problem. So this is an easy way, because it's Grayface, to announce a new title today that is in hand and will be shipping with if you want to include it on Student Bodies and Hide and Go Shriek, you can. And then, or is this just going to ship for individuals if they just want it? And Grayface Clubbers.
Yeah, so we'd start by shipping Grayface Clubbers, and then if you are a TerraVision video clubber and want to add this to your subscription, I'm going to make it live here in like 5 seconds. I'll play the trailer. While the trailer's playing, I'll make it live. But you can add it to your subscription. And then, yeah, Greyface Clubbers will ship now. Greyface Films Clubbers. And then TerraVision Video Clubbers will...
Didn't even see it.
That was very quick. They'll combine with Student Bodies and Hide and Go Shriek, right? So this title will ship with those two if you're a TerraVision person that has added it to your subscription. And then everyone else will ship after that. So, I mean, they're in hand and shipping now. So it's just, you know, we're a small company. So even if something is literally in hand and shipping now, if you're not a clubber, it will probably be 2 weeks after we announce something, just so that's very clear. Clubbers always get priority. That's kind of the point, to be honest. So yeah, without further ado, do you want me to just play the trailer and I can...
Yeah, just play the trailer and then we'll give the story behind it.
Okie dokie. I'm removing you from the stage. Goodbye, Brad, for a second. I'm going to remove me.
힘든 싫어요. 남편 생각이 났어.
자, 그럼 이렇게 생각하세요. 사과 달린 과술이 왔다고 생각합시다. 이렇게. 아가씨, 차 한잔하시죠.
전 아가씨가 아니에요.
임자 없는 여자를 아가씨라고 합니다.
누가 그래요?
사과는 신선해야 입맛이 돋궈집니다.
난 벌레 먹은 사과예요.
그런 사과가 맛있다고요. 안 씹으면 씹을수록 맛이 좋은 여자가 좋더라. 난 흥분하면은 목이 말라.
상녀가 아니란 말이야. 이혼녀야. 기계는 늘 동작을 시켜야지. 안 쓰면 녹나요. 죽기 아니면 살기라고. 이 세상에 완전 살인은 없어.
정신 이상이 아니라 천재야, 천재.
큰 걸 들었으니 기분 내주셔야죠.
Cool.
Very dope.
It's a good trailer.
Yeah, good job, John Daly, Rock Chudson. So Be a Wicked Woman, aka An Experience to Die For. This is one of Kim Ki-young's last films. This was a lost movie for quite some time. It's never been on home video in the US. I believe it had a DVD in Japan, in Korea. Was it Korea or Japan? I can't remember which. I think it's the opposite of the nationality that Kim Ki-young. But anyways, it doesn't matter. It didn't have any subtitles or anything. And it was released, I don't know, maybe like a year ago or something like that. Anyways, beside the point, not a very great release. This movie was made in 1990. And it got shelved. The censorship boards shut it down. And I know from reading and just historical notations that Kim Ki-young was very unhappy with how this film wasn't getting approved and put out. So it was originally titled An Experience to Die or Be a Wicked Woman in 1990. So they went ahead to the censorship boards in 1995 with a retitle of An Experience to Die For. And it still got denied. And then in 1998, I believe, they did a screening for it. And that was when Kim Ki-young tragically died with his wife in a house fire. And then the negative disappeared for a number of years. And just this film was just unseen, nowhere, not even a VHS release. And then I believe in 2021, they found the material and we started working with the company that did. and they did their own release overseas. And then we had a 2K scan of the original camera negative, along with special features and Chloe's amazing artwork. As you can see in the trailer, there's that tree that's painted on the mirror. It comes with your
Pants.
your O card. We titled it "Be a Wicked Woman" because I thought that title was a little bit better. However, we still do an experience to die for. How do people do this? They gotta cover something up. Anyways, so there's an experience to die for here. Be a Wicked Woman over here. And yeah, this is a dope release. I have to hold it to the side. There we go. Very, very cool. There is, what do we have on here? This was done months ago. Commentary from Ariel Schudson, who was on Suddenly in the Dark. Also essays from Heather Drain, Amber T, and Erica Schultz, with a booklet with Alexander Helen Nicholas. She's got her little booklet. I think this booklet is very, very pretty. But yeah, this is Greyface title number 6.
So it's available now on
So it's just
wholesale.
It's just a really, I mean, Kim Ki Young is just an amazing filmmaker. And it's just kind of crazy how we have a movie of his in our library, especially one that's been never seen before. So yeah, this is shipping now. The YouTube video doesn't really do it any justice because it looks a million times better than that, even though that looks good. Very, very exciting to put this out, and happy that we're able to do so. And for Kim Ki's young work in his last film that he made. So yeah,
Well said.
very, very exciting.
So, in the interest of not making this a 5-hour long video like we always do, let's plow through to our next bit of news. You want me to take it, or do you want it?
Oh no, you can take it, baby. You can take it.
So, in case you pay no attention to our vinyl career, about it has been 6 months ago, we announced a sub imprint, basically for vinyl, putting out like really. So here's the thing: when you start a company, there's any fans whatsoever. I mean, it could be 5 people. There forms some bit of expectation. Brad and I have the unique, perhaps, displeasure of having interest in so many types of movies, film scores. Brad and I connected because we're interest-wise
it's like schizophrenia.
Super schizophrenic. And so that is weirdly what ends up, like, that's why we created Haxon, which is, where I put Sinister out on vinyl a couple months ago, because it just didn't make sense with TerraVision, and TerraVision's been around for going on 11 years now. So there's, again, an
And putting Immaculate on the TerraVision line, we realized was kind of a mistake.
Not kind of, it was a huge mistake, and I regret it. And those things I obsess over, as does Brad, which is, again, why we get along. So one of the things we hatched up, Chloe and I, maybe 11 years ago, like when we first started dating, created this company called Cellar Dweller, and it was going to be, weirdly, of all things, an enamel pin company. And we made a few pins, and they did well, and she did the artwork for it. And then, as I just addressed, I'm kind of schizophrenic, so I moved on very quickly, came back to that name and general concept of, like, not edgy, just like weird stuff for the vinyl line. We've released the Jar vinyl, Slashers vinyl, and Sledgehammer, which ships soon. Actually, I forgot to mention that. think we're just waiting on the inner sleeves because they sent them to a different pressing plant, but that's neither here nor there. When you own a pressing plant, there's so many things that go wrong. It's kind of funny. Anywho, so we've released those 3 titles, all of which you'll notice had Blu-rays on TerraVision, right? But the soundtracks or scores rather didn't really make sense on TerraVision. So that's why Cellar Dweller housed them. So Brad and I were talking, as we do constantly, and we said, what if we start putting out Blu-rays on Cellar Dweller? And the focal point would be titles that, what's the best way to phrase it?
Well, I think, when we initially launched TerraVision, we had hopes that people would be more open to everything, and we would just have the one line for everything.
True.
However, with having a subscription, having people not re-up and then asking them why they don't, they didn't like having contemporary films.
Or
They
shot on
didn't
video.
like having, weird shot on video stuff. So it was a little discouraging, but obviously, we do listen occasionally. And it just made sense to, okay, we have these 400 some titles licensed, varying from new movies to foreign films to kung fu films to shot on video stuff to bigger blockbuster movies that were in theaters, and we have Academy Award winner on Great Face coming up. And it was just that's one of the reasons why we did Great Face, because when we had our first title, River, it was like, well, that doesn't make sense to put it on TerraVision, because TerraVision's like schlocky and weird. Like, this movie's cute and wholesome. So, being that Ryan already had Gray Face existing, it was like, well, let's just create a line for that. And it's going to be more, artsy, non-genre, non-schlocky stuff. And it went pretty well, even though Dawning is a horror film, it's much more than, that. And so that's where that went. Now, being that Sledgehammer was on TerraVision, but the soundtrack was on Cellar Dweller, Sledgehammer would always be on TerraVision. It wouldn't be on this Cellar Dweller title or this label. It is like, if we had to redo everything, titles like, Shrek would be on Cellar Dweller or Copperhead, those types of things. We would have done retroactively, went back and changed that. It doesn't mean that there's not going to be any shot on video movies ever again on TerraVision, because that's not the case. There's going to be plenty and stuff of, beta SP masters. It's not a label to house a format. Let's just be clear. It's what we feel is weird enough and silly enough that maybe mainstream audiences that like TerraVision maybe don't get it completely, or maybe they just don't want it because it's just too weird. This label is for kind of like diehard people that just love the most weirdest, stupidest.
It's like a party label.
Yeah, it really is. It's we call it bagel bite label.
Yeah.
Cellar Dweller is going to house very weird, ultra obscure movies, and just stuff that's just not going to probably sell a lot of titles either, or it will just piss people off if they get it in their sub package. So you can include this again in your sub. You can always opt in for those titles. There will not be, as of right now, there's no subscription for Cellar Dweller. However, you can, if you have Gray Face, you can add them. If you have TerraVision, you can add them. No charge. It just goes against your sub. And we will always do that. But yeah, Cellar Dweller is going to be very weird and silly. It's going to be exciting. Right now we have 4 titles on the way to us. And I think the first one has an LP, which we have in house, but we're not going to put it up until the movie's in. And this has unique packaging, right? We did something different.
So at least for the first 10 Cellar Dweller releases, they'll all have you'll see when you see it, but they'll all have a specific die cut on the front. Earl Kess has created branding, so to speak, for it. And just like the vinyl line of Cellar Dweller, all the artwork is done by Chris Escobar, who goes by Worser Beings on social media. So similar, Graveface Films, that's all Chloe. And then Cellar Dwellers, all Escobar. So that, for obvious reasons, they can sort of have their own identity. And Earl, at the end of the day, touches all of it. So it still feels like his work.
Yeah, and it's exciting because it allows us, and honestly, this allows us to do more as a company, because when we have really weird and $500 budget movies that are shot on video, and we're excited about it, but everybody, not everybody, but a good portion of the subbers or clubbers are like, I'm not gonna re-up because you guys are releasing shit like this. Well, it's a little discouraging to keep signing movies like that, but we're also not going to not sign those movies because we want to release them and have fun with them. So we created a label to house this, and also it gives us the thing about doing it, and the same thing with Grayface, it gives us the opportunity to do more than what we kind of started and intended to do, because now we have a home for it. Because sometimes we would be, exchanging movies and be like, hey, what do you think about this? And it's like, man, that's just too stupid. It's just too weird. I love it, but we can't do that to our audience in TerraVision. They're going to literally lose their minds. This lets us do, I just saw Live Fast Diarrhea pop up and I thought it was funny. This allows us to do a lot more and kind of broaden the scope of what we want to do, which we're excited about. Not that we don't really want to do sub labels. It's not like what that was the intention, but it is kind of cool that we're able to. And again, we do include those in the subscriptions, so you can pick them up. That's the cool part. If you just want to ignore them, you can, but you're not going to get. Now, again, just to reiterate, that doesn't mean there won't be any shot at video titles or, beta SP masters, which I know people have a problem with sometimes. Those movies will still exist. Slashers would have always been on TerraVision. The Jar would have been on TerraVision. Mm-hmm. Sledgehammer would have been on TerraVision. But stuff, again, like Shrek, Copperhead, I don't know, maybe the Joe Zazzo movies.
Maybe.
It's tough, but stuff like, Sledgehammer, Video Violence, Cannibal Campout, 100%.
Yeah, those are what created TerraVision. Like Video Violence.
We kind of look at what we look at it as kind of like DNA, honestly.
Sure.
And we do overthink these things quite a bit, because we're psychotic, I guess. But a lot of work and ideas and thought goes into how do we identify this movie? And honestly, don't be surprised if another label pops up for contemporary titles, because that seems to be a point of contention too.
Well, it's also for us. I really want a contemporary label.
Yeah, and the point is we're going to. We just don't have any. We just haven't pulled the trigger just yet. But we do have
so many good movies, and
we have a lot of contemporary titles that we just are kind of sitting on, and we haven't done anything with. And then we get so many offers for cool movies.
Yeah, great movies.
And it's like, it doesn't really fit TerraVision though, but we want to do it. And having a label to focus on contemporary stuff might be it, because again, according to emails, because we do ask, hey, why didn't you re-up? is it the shipping times? Is it the turnaround times? Is it the quality? And I would say 80% of the time it's the movies.
Yeah.
Like people didn't want to have family dinner in their sub or something, or and it's a great movie that just doesn't, and plus they don't sell. And it's not, I don't think they don't sell because we're releasing them. I think they're not selling because of how they're being presented and the line that they're on. So if you can dedicate a label to more contemporary-ish movies, now it doesn't mean that we'll never have a contemporary movie.
Yeah, because like
Terrorvision.
Frogman would have always been.
Yeah, Frogman,
Always
100% always would have been Terrorvision. WNUF, 100% Terrorvision. So there's going to be contemporary films, but it's got to mix that DNA. It's got to be that DNA where it's like, this is just too silly. We got to do it. All Jacked Up and Full of Worms probably would have went on the contemporary label, because it seems that upsets some people.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, we're working on some stuff behind the scenes like that. We're super excited. Yeah, and like I said, just moving forward, we're finishing these up and having them, in stock, ready to ship before we, restoration's done, it's submitted, it's being authored. Let's do a pre-order. There's a problem with the authoring. Okay, what do we have to do? Oh, we have to go back and fix this. How long is that's going to take? Oh, it's going to take 2 weeks. And 2 weeks turns in a reality of home video. 2 weeks is like a month. Like it doesn't equate to the 14 days. It literally, when you hear a delay that, oh, we won't have this for 2 weeks. Sure, you'll get the file in 2 weeks, but then you have to encode it for like 5 days. You have to do all this. And it takes just so much time. And that was the problem that we were facing, is that, these projects were done from our perspective, but they weren't done from our multiple vendors' perspective, because there's a vendor for everything, and if there's any of those people have a problem, it delays it. And that delay could be a week, it could be 2 weeks, it could be a month, and that equates to a much longer time.
Well, not to mention, just anecdotally, the manufacturer that we had used our entire career retired during all of this. So, I want to give a shout out to Chip over at OMM in Indianapolis, who has been just a lifesaver. Like Chip is, if you need anything manufactured, because he does vinyl too, like hire that motherfucker. He's support his company. Like he saved us at a time when our, like I said, our long time manufacturer had retired and we just didn't know what to do. So Chip at OMM, find him, pay him money, support him.
Just donate money to him. But yeah, we learned a lot, because we took for granted a few things of like, oh, we're done. Like our stuff is done. Restoration's done. Everything's done. There's zero reason why this shouldn't be announced, because we just need to move on to the next title. And yeah, we just lesson learned in that sense. So yeah, moving forward, stuff we'll have, a tracking number to be on its way to us, and, or in hand before we announce it. So there won't be these problems again.
So we don't have diarrhea. We don't have a label for contemporary stuff yet.
Not yet. We're working on it.
Yeah,
because we have multiple films that we're going to be signing. We have signed. Because I hate turning away so many people sometimes, because we get submissions every fucking day. Someone will say, hey, and sometimes like the stuff doesn't fit at all, or it's like, oh, that's cool, but like, I don't know, it doesn't really bleed Terrorvision, yeah, nobody is doing it like you guys. I understand, because we were doing really bad.
Yeah, that's why I put that up.
I think I understand what they're saying, and we appreciate it, unless you mean it as a dig, which is pretty fucking funny. And we're very aware of these fucking problems.
I will say it is worth, just so people understand the scope of things. Like not most. I mean, I think I can commit to all of our contemporaries that at least have a large output are owned by a bunch of people that have a lot of money. Like we're Brad and I are in this little, not that it was never intended to be a hobby label. I just didn't think about it because I'm an idiot. Meaning, like, I like movies. I want to put out movies. That's not how companies work. You know, usually there's a business plan and you reach out to investors and like you have some idea of what you're doing. I mean, Brad was a huge, like a massive part of this company. You know, like TerraVision existed for, I don't know, say 7 years or 6 years prior to me even knowing Brad existed. And he like brought us up to the next level because he's been doing this for so long. I just randomly, I mean, I used to put out DVDs, but I would just sell them in my store without ever telling anyone, you know, like there was no thought put into it other than I want to make a movie and put it on disc. And that's it. Brad added this whole element of expertise but yet it's not like we added investors and sort of the ability to do what other people are doing. So nobody is truly doing it like us because we are doing it strangely.
Yeah. But I mean, it was a big learning experience, and, you know, and yeah, we still learn from things and we listen, and yeah, I mean, of course we fucked up. Sure. We acknowledge that. But we also, you know, we care about people's money. You know, if you don't want something, then okay, like we get it. Like but people do want this, but you don't want it. And there's a handful of people that don't want it. So how do we have both parties win? And that's essentially what we're doing. And again, we're happy about it because it kind of, again, broadens our scope to able to do a little bit more than what we kind of intended to do. This gives an opportunity to multiple filmmakers, multiple multiple sales agents and stuff like that. And, you know, the thing is that Ryan and I do love everything. And when you do love everything, it's hard to have a strict identity. And this allows us to have multiple identities. MPD is what it is called. And it's not, it's going to be a wild ride. I think this will be fun. I'm excited. I'm especially excited for Cellar Dweller because it's so silly.
It's so dumb. It's the dumbest label that will ever release movies, and I am so excited for it because I love dumb shit. So
yeah.
Doesn't mean
I mean, some of the movies are cool. I mean, we won't tell any titles because we don't want to do that. But let me give some years here.
Yeah, dumb is not a diss in my world. Dumb is a compliment.
Oh yeah, dumb is fun. All right, so this first one is 1991. And then the second one is 91 as well. The second one is fucking fun as shit. Yeah, second one is 91. And then the third one is 96. And then the fourth is fucking weird as fuck. It's from 2000. Yeah. But people comparing to the Hut Group. Yeah, dude, nothing like that, man. It was like, I mean, when you have millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars from investors, like things just change your life.
Again, we have zero investors.
Yeah, it's literally Ryan's wallet.
Correct. And quite frankly, if I didn't own museums, we'd be doomed.
Yeah, we would have went out of business probably. Like, and that's the thing is like, that's why we haven't announced anything movie wise since October. You know, it's because we didn't want to upset people. And you have to think like that is eating into our license, you know,
Correct.
For these movies. Like and plus just refunds from other stuff from upset customers, which we totally get and understand. You know, money's tight around the world these days. So it makes sense. Like I didn't want to spend $65 on something and then not get it. But yeah, I'm excited for the trajectory. I'm excited for the labels, the movies. I'm excited just to put something new out.
Yeah.
Because it hurts because we're working on so much, you know. And we've done a couple screenings like Small Kill, you know, we've announced that we're doing Small Kill from 92. We screened that at Beyond Fest. You know, we still have Melvin Goes to Dinner, which we wrapped up on all that stuff. Wrapped up on Big Top Pee-wee, which we're working on getting that disc together now. Restoration's been done for like 2 months. We're still sorting out that lost footage type stuff, but we'll be doing the discs for those. And anything that we've announced, we are still working on or have completed, and it's in-house, and we just haven't announced it yet. So,
let's do it in notes of the meeting. So student bodies, Hide and Go Shriek, July 6th. That's when we receive them, and we'll start shipping. 2 weeks later, Happy Hell Night. 2 weeks later-ish, Gator Bait 1 and 2 4-disc set. Be a Wicked Woman on Grayface Films. We just announced. You can grab that at TerraVision's site. If you're a video clubber, Grayface video clubber, you automatically receive it. If you're a TerraVision video clubber, you can add it to your subscription in the wholesale portal. We also announced that we're now releasing Blu-rays under Cellar and Dweller, which will be dumb shit. Which is a
great selling point. Great selling. You're selling everybody on it.
I mean, to me, it's going to be like the best thing I've ever been involved in. But
I think that second title is going to be the one that really trips people up. They're like, okay, I'll give in.
But yeah, I think that's it. Any questions? I think Brad just answered a big question, which is where's stuff like Big Top Pee-wee? Again, anything that we've ever announced is coming. Just everything takes time. I don't think there's been any other questions. Can't wait for the dumbest of shit. Thank you.
Well, I mean, they did ask a sub-label for classic adult films. We're not going to do adult film. I mean, let's just say we have talked and we're doing something in the works to have a sexier side of cinema.
It's you topless. That's the logo.
We already have a name picked out. I think I sent Chloe an idea of the logo. But yeah, something like that will exist too. It's just that we're not going to say sex or adult because it turns people off. It's not going to be strictly a hardcore label or something like that. But I do miss doing adult oriented or sexploitation movies. I miss it quite dearly. Will TerraVision be able to survive when Dark Force launches their streaming service? That's pretty funny. I didn't know. I don't know if they're doing that. Best of luck to Demon Dave. If I pre-ordered Hags from wholesale portal before sub lapse, will I still? That's a you question.
Simple answer: yes.
Goofy movie update. Disney has sent me a restraining order for asking about Goofy movie too much. That's the update.
Okay. Well, I think that's everything. Thank you guys for hanging out. And most of all for your patience and support. Can't stress how much we appreciate you. And we'll just keep shipping, keep getting stuff in. We'll keep making announcements as we chip away at these. Like I said, there won't be any TerraVision mainline announcements until we're caught up on
right.
those four. But
and we have a slew of titles coming that are done. And
so many titles.
Yeah.
So many titles. And then this is shipping now and for sale today. Be a Wicked Woman.
And it's a great movie too. I mean, that trailer's super dope, but
yeah.
it's
cool.
a very good movie.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good weekend, and we'll talk soon. Bye bye.
Bye.